Hello, guys. My name is Edward Eaker. I'm a rapper. I rap as EakDaFreak. And what I'm going to be doing today and over the next few weeks is creating a little mini series where I can take the releases that I have had so far. I've released 5 songs in the last 4 months, and I can kind of add some more meat to these songs. I do take a lot of time to prepare, to write, to rewrite, to record, to re-record. There's a ton of effort that goes into this. This will be the first song in a little mini series of every song that I have out so far. That's 5 different singles. So this will be, at this point, a 5-part mini series. If I release one of these a week, which is the plan, by the time we get done, we should be closer to 7 or 8 songs. So with this series, I want to give you guys kind of a little more context around the song in its entirety, maybe a little trivia, something like that. So I remember actually when I began writing this, I had still not posted music on SoundCloud. I'd still not posted music on Spotify anywhere. And I was just driving home from work one day, and I remember this beat came on. It was a very, very distinct kind of eerie bell sound in it. And so I'm listening, and, I listen to beats a lot. And this one had a very unique sample that come in and just said drug abuse, which kind of sets the connotation or the atmosphere for the whole song, So the lyrics started to come pretty quickly. Before too long, I had it pretty much written out and structured. And then I had a pretty traumatic, life-changing event that went on around that time and ended up staying with a friend where we recorded this song. Essentially, the first day I found out I had coronavirus. We stayed up for probably like 12 hours just consistently doing this to the point that the beat was seared into our brains. So, yeah, got it done there. That was a Fruity Loops version. Right after that, we got done. We came over here and we had access to a full studio setup. So we re-recorded it. And this is essentially what came out of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start it playing. I'm going to let it run through a little section, and then I'll stop, kind of give it a line by line. And if there's anything particular that stands out in the lyrics or stands out during the composition process personally, I will go ahead and tell you guys about that. So without further ado.
I tried to kick a couple bad habits, but I said fuck it. When I was young, I never hung around the wrong crowd, bitch, I was it. These addies got me buzzing out his hands. Damn, my blood is type of kid to put his fist up in a bitch like she a puppet.
Okay, so the way that one starts is a little abrasive, but that was kind of, if you pick up on that eerie bell that was going on in the background there, it kind of is that like a deranging element to it. I'm just really trying to set up this, at this point, kind of a really raw imagery of what is going on, which I will continue in the next part.
I'm that voice inside your head at night that keeps you up and fucks with you. I'm the feeling that you get from smoking Sherman dust and huffing glue. I'm blacked out while I'm writing this, but that ain't nothing fucking new. I call this shit a normal day, y'all probably call it drug abuse.
Okay, so during that part, this is where really, once I had started writing the song and I kind of had this this direction of kind of just reckless shooting off, and then that sample you hear, the voice that comes in and says drug abuse, is actually a sample of President Richard M. Nixon. Slightly altered and moved backwards into this beat. That's kind of going to be the setup of all 3 of these verses. They're shorter. They're 8-bar verses as opposed to 16, which would be like an industry standard size verse. And I did this kind of to appeal to the smaller attention span of audiences today, which I'm very much a part of. Here comes in the hook, which is has been kind of controversial for me so far. I've had a lot of people reach out to me about this. I'm going to go ahead and play it, and then I'll kind of give you guys an explanation on how this came to be.
Just cause I got a habit don't mean that I'm an addict. There's a fine line between a hobby and a habit. You call it addicted, I don't give a shit, bitch. You faggots got a problem, suck my motherfucking dick then.
Just the way that this comes in is, just cause I got a habit don't mean that I'm an addict. There's a fine line between a hobby and a habit. You call it addicted, I don't give a shit, bitch. You faggots got a problem, suck my motherfucking dick then. Okay, so what's going on there? This actually was the result of kind of a panic. I was going to record the hook section of this song. And so I'm listening to this beat kind of on repeat on the way to the studio. And I really wanted to add a visceral element to this. I wanted it to be, even more kind of against the grain, even kind of more under people's skin. I could sit here and do well, I've got a gay friend. So actually, but I'm not going to talk about my G pass or anything like that, or my F pass. It just is what it is, and this is my very first single that I was putting out, and I didn't want to I didn't want to gather up a group of people around some wholesome family Christian rap music and then start dropping shit like this when I actually get comfortable with doing it. I don't have any bias towards gay people. I'll slob your meat right now, honestly, if you think that I am homophobic. And then we would be in a very awkward stance after that as to whether I was or not after you were post-completion.
Cause I got a habit, don't mean that I'm an addict. There's a fine line between a hobby and a habit. You call it addicted, I don't give a shit, bitch. You faggots got a problem, suck my motherfucking dick, damn.
Another thing that I had brought up to me about this was the fact that it's kind of glorifying drug abuse. Obviously, you know what I'm saying. But if you know an addict, which you do, you know that the self-justification is actually one of the more incendiary elements of drug abuse. You are telling yourself, just because I gotta have it, don't mean that I'm an addict. But and then the next line, there's a fine line between a hobby and a habit, which true, but another self-justification for, clearly destructive behavior. But overall, as to the glorification of drug abuse or drug addiction, it's in no way that it is something that, myself has dabbled in, and I'm sure a lot of you watching this either have or know people that have. And, I didn't really put it up for much objectivity. It was more of I'm going to toss this out here and you guys make of it what you will. And you guys have made a lot of different things of this. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and continue into verse 2.
I gotta keep going. Everybody knows. Oh man, you're good. They probably think that you're just hyper. Everybody knows. I gotta keep going. I can't. How do I keep going? You know how. I can't keep going.
So that is actually the bridge that comes after this first verse. So what I was trying to do there was kind of bottle the desperation, the self-justification, that moment when you realize that you have to have something. And, if you can hear in there, there's multiple voices. There's a high voice, there's my regular voice, and there's a low voice. So the high voice is me on drugs. The regular voice is me kind of trying to justify or kind of trying to that's the one that says, I can't keep going. I got to keep going. And then the low voice that comes in after I ask, how do I keep going? And says, you know how. So the low voice is actually drugs themselves personified onto this track. So it was kind of the three voices of drugs, me, and me on drugs, all kind of conversing to each other to essentially conspire against the overall avatar that is EakDaFreak. After this kind of trippy bridge, I just want to go right back into displaying the confidence and the fervor and the vigor and keep pushing through, kind of like I'm doing with everything.
I'm back up on my rugged shit, I'm back to doing drugs again. I knew I was the greatest, I know y'all are just discovering. Probably thinking, what is this, a narcissist with subtle witties? Why didn't got a mullet, but these bars be going hard as shit.
So this is actually the verse that was pieced off of the older SoundCloud project. Yeah, essentially that, I'm addressing the fact that clearly I don't look like a rap guy, but listen to it. You know what I'm saying? I'm a rap guy. I am one. So this is just keying into that, and then we're going to segue right into the second half of this second verse.
I ain't woke up sober in at least a fucking week or two. Mama used to tell my daddy's just a fucking younger you. Despite the life of substance use, I'm sharper than the number 2. And in the case I ever blew, I'd blow it all on.
So this actually has a couple little things in it. Clearly, I'm setting up for the multiple syllable end rhyme of drug abuse with all of these second half schemes that I'm doing on these verses. So when it starts, I ain't woke up sober in at least a fucking week or 2. If you can imagine that I actually said month, which is how I intended to record this, but it actually came off so crispy without doing it the right way that I kept it. That would have kept that multiple syllable end rhyme consistent, but the break from it kind of is nice because I can be a little robotic with my composition sometimes. So now this is going to go right back into the hook.
Just cause I got a habit don't mean that I'm an addict. There's a fine line between a hobby and a habit. You call it addicted, I don't give a shit, bitch. You faggots got a problem, suck my motherfucking dick, damn. They say rap's a business with no gimmick, you ain't getting it. But my mullet on 100, so my patience pencil thin. Then again, the benefit of being schizophrenic is the doctor told my mama all my alter ego's geniuses.
Okay, so the way this one starts out, the third and final verse is, this is kind of me, again, addressing the fact of, the music industry having certain standards, there being certain expectations that have to be met to kind of get in. The music industry as a whole, kind of how there are certain, unspoken requirements to kind of bust in. You got to have some kind of Tekashi 6ix9ine-ness to you now, it seems like. You have to have some proprietary element for your branding, because music is a lot more than music now. It's 100% entertainment, and branding is as big as quality in a lot of ways, you know, when you make yourself synonymous with other things. So I come in with, they say rap's a business with no gimmick, you ain't getting in, but my mullet on 100, so my patient's pencil thin. Then again, a benefit of being schizophrenic is the doctor told my mama all my alter ego's geniuses. So I actually had a lot of questions about this line too. Are you actually schizophrenic? The answer to that is simple. I don't go to doctors, especially mental health ones. So probably. Just kidding. So then the second part I wrote separately. This was a little Eminem tactic of taking two detached bars and kind of putting them together. So it says, I'm really hearkening on something called assonance here, which is a repetition of a vowel sound internally. So then again, the benefit of being schizophrenic is the doctor told my mama all my alter ego's geniuses. And so actually there's another internal switch there as to where I'm hitting the EI to where I go and use mama and then all my. But the way I say it is doctor told my mama all my. So it's almost like a palindrome in that it's said the same frontwards and backwards. And then the fact that maybe schizophrenia then ain't that bad if some of your alter egos aren't murderers and are in fact dope ass rappers, which all of mine happen to be.
I'm tired of being broken, hopeless, hoping I get noticed soon. I'm tired of working overtime cause all the bills is overdue. I'm tired of problems piling up that I ain't got solutions to. I'm tired of always feeling tired, reverting back to drug abuse.
Okay, so this last one is where I actually wanted to get serious one more time and kind of address these, these core kind of creating elements of drug abuse. Kind of a lot of the, not just justifications, but real reasons you might want to be fucked up more than be in real life. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to provide any answers for that. I'm trying to lay this out there objectively as a young artist who really be thinking a lot like this. So it says, I'm tired of being broken, hopeless, hoping I get noticed soon. I'm tired of working overtime because all the bills is overdue. I'm tired of problems piling up that I ain't got solutions to. And I'm tired of always feeling tired, reverting back to. And then our boy Nixon comes in with the final drug abuse of the song, and we hit an abrupt end. I hit the abrupt end right after that because I kind of wanted to leave that, on the palates of the listener. The fact that I am about to go crazy with this music career. I am about to put as much time and effort into it as I can. And a lot of the times you'll justify a lot of shit to yourself to do a lot of stuff. It's toxic behavior, but hell, we're humans. Thank you guys. If you like this, subscribe to the damn channel. Hit the damn bell. Turn it on. It'll be that little one on the top with the little bell quotations around it or whatever. And that way you get a little ping ping every time I post a video. You can click in, see what I'm doing. And have a fucking cool day.